Hello again, everyone. Anharis here with another exciting StarCraft 2 broadcast from LastPlayerStanding.com's 48-person third season StarCraft 2 Open. We are here watching the semifinals between IScrazyMoviN of Team Infinity 7, the purple Zerg over on the left side of the map, against Obsidian, who was actually Inori of Team FXO, spawning as the red Protoss on the right side here today on GSL Dual Site. Now, game number one, Inori continued his winning streak. I'll tell you what, man, that is absolutely insane. That says a lot about him as a player, and I'm going to be looking to see if he's going to continue that as he does drop a pylon. Very safe spot. I love that. It's so nice and tucked away. Got a happy little tree to keep him company down there. Gas as well. IScrazyMoviN's Overlord's going to come over there and check that out. Now, with only two spawning positions, obviously he's going to be able to scout out his opponent very quickly. I'm going to be looking to see if IScrazyMoviN decides to go for an early expansion again, or if he opts for a more conservative build like 14-14, something along those lines. Currently sitting at 13 supply, and we're going to watch here in just a moment as this probe does scout out the base. Going to see pretty much just droning up, nothing too special. This is going to be kind of his ticket to go and go possibly head back down to the expansion, but he spots that gas going down, so he decides to keep the probe in here just a little while longer. Now, watching the minerals, seeing it approach 180, we're probably going to have a spawning pool going down here as well in just a moment. But what is this? Yes, okay, there we go. The probe is going to be hanging out down here. The Overlord spots it, knows what's going on, and we're pretty much just going to see Inori continue to try to deny that expansion. But look at what he's doing here. He's going to be going for a 15 Nexus. This, well, I'm not going to lie, this is actually very risky, but at the same time, I think he's feeling pretty confident. Game number one, he managed to take out his opponent with just a few Dark Templar, right? I mean, that's got to be a pretty decent confidence boost. IScrazyMoviN played, I think, very well. It's just that he was kind of caught off guard by that high amount of Dark Templar right at the point where he was going into Tier 2. You know, he just extended his economy a little bit too far there, kind of told the Protoss, well, you know what, I'm in this for a long haul, and Inori was just like, well, nope, not going to happen. So, took him out, and I don't think we're going to see the repeat of that. I think IScrazyMoviN has definitely learned his lesson about that. So let's see what he's going to be going now. He's continuing to mine gas from one drone, even after he's got metabolic boost on the way. And still notice how he does not have an expansion. This is going to kind of lead the Protoss to wonder, okay, what's going on? We're going to have any sort of attack here soonish. Sure enough, there we go. This is very common play for Zerg. You know, make a few Zerglings, send out the drone along with it. The Zerglings act as an escort and able to drop it. So Inori up here, having claimed his expansion so much earlier than his opponent, is going to be in a far superior position in terms of economy. But if you look at the army size right now, you see 250 to 0. Okay, yeah, that's fine. No big deal. 4 Zerglings and a Queen. But looking over here, we also have a Roach Warren that just went down. You see how the Zerg player has continued to mine gas, now mining with 2 drones. He is going to be looking to possibly put some sort of pressure on this base in response to having his own expansion so significantly delayed. It's really could turn out poor for Inori, but at the same time, this guy has shown that he definitely has what it takes to play with a great game, and I'm sure this will be no exception, so we'll see who is able to come out on top. I think really the Scantipede here is going to be the real winner. We'll see. We're going to watch and see if little Scanty here is able to live through whatever happens to go in this particular matchup. So while we watch him, we see this expansion just now complete. Overlord in a great position to keep an eye on both this exit point right here and also just the edge of the ramp. Not so much the ramp itself, but keeping an eye on units that will likely cut down this way into the Overlord's line of vision. So IScrazyMoviN now with a few Zerglings is going to be coming up here, checking out the Protoss base. He's going to notice the cannon has gone down. He's going to be able to get a nice surround of the probe. Oh, but he does back out there the last second. Probe is able to make his clean getaway, but look at what is coming over here. We have several Roaches, but we also have a Stargate just about complete. Is he going to be able to get out a Void Ray in time to deal with this? Oh man, only time will tell. I'll tell you what though, I am super antsy to see what happens. And this is the team mascot down here, whatever this thing, which we can't actually select. Looks like some sort of a cow ram. It's a cam? I don't know. This guy, the Scantipede, he is way cooler and doesn't afraid of anything, as he is just hanging out where we're going to have a big battle here in just a second. 2 cannons are all that stands between the Zerg and the main base. Will he be able to bust through it, though? Probes have made a wall. Zealot coming up as well, able to kind of close the gap, but having knocked out these defenses, he's going to be able to have immediate access to the Stalker. Oh no, it does go down. Looking at the army size now, 100 to 925. You're going to see this continue to look worse and worse for our Protoss player as his economy is now just shot down at the natural expansion. This Void Ray is going to do a lot of damage. You see he's actually walled off here to make sure those probes can mine safely in the main base, working on taking out the cannon. It is oh no, I think it's actually not, could not tell. Too much going on here. But back up here at the natural expansion, more Zerglings are just flooding in. It is way too much for this Void Ray to handle. 9 kills right now as the Zerglings and Roaches now get into the main mining area. The probes are forced to retreat, bringing his economy to a screeching halt. And we see here 17 to 15 on the workers. So this expansion down here, not saturated at all, not even a single drone working. But these Zerglings are just trying to pay for themselves any way they can. Nice surround with the probes. Good split. But with more Zerglings down here taking out this expansion, it's only a matter of time before Inori ends up just falling farther and farther behind this one poor Void Ray. He's just thinking to himself, man, if only I had more time, I could kill every single unit down below because none of them can fire at air. But the thing is, though, IScrazyMoviN, now that he's starting to build drones back up again, you're going to see him look to try to develop a response to that Void Ray, because the Protoss's line of thinking is going to be, well, okay, I have one base, but at least I have this tech advantage. So how can I capitalize on that? Well, first of all, the Zerg player is going to just try to bust up here, although I think he might actually get through this cannon and all those Zerglings get into the main base. Oh, nice, but the gateway is not enough. The Zerglings managed to scoot around to the edge. I think even one of them almost fell off there, scraping some rocks on the ground below. But the probes are going to be forced to run back down to the natural away from the Zerglings and try to hang out near the photon cannon. Oh man, this is just so intense right now. The Void Ray actually being forced to come back to base. So many Zerglings running around here, it's going to be quite difficult for one Void Ray, especially if those Zerglings hang around near the ledge. They're just going to be able to continue to outrun the Void Ray. And once again, going into the mineral line, we're going to see these probes try to do the dance and get us around on the Zerglings. Again, nice catch. Most of these Zerglings are going to be killed, and the second Void Ray has now arrived, leaving the Protoss with a little bit better of a defense, but that gateway was just so clutch. I thought it was going to be enough, but those Zerglings, they were just seriously walking almost sideways in this cliff right here. Very, very tense moment for both players, but with those Zerglings able to come through, we can take a look at the economy now. 22 to 30, so definitely the Zerg player is in a very solid position right now, and this could be the first loss for Inori in both the previous tournament as well as this one. So that will be a notch under the Zerg player's belt. As we move forward, we have a Spore Crawler, 2 Queens down at the natural expansion, and looking up here, we have 1 Spore and 1 Queen, as well as a lair on the way. That's about 2/3 complete. So the Protoss is going to be hard-pressed to actually do any significant damage with these 3 mobile Queens running around, 2 of which have enough energy, more than enough, for a heal. This one actually enough for 2. It's really going to be difficult for the Protoss to do anything but just keep map control. And that's likely what he's going to be doing with those Void Rays at this point. He wants to keep them around midfield to try to keep the Zerg from getting any ideas about sending another light attack. You know, obviously Zerglings can just run past it, but you know, if he can just deny vision here, deny it both, both the watchtowers, keep a threat of a Void Ray presence midfield, then the Protoss is going to be maybe able to live long enough to get this expansion going. But he is so far behind right now. Like I said, the Zerg player has just been doing hardcore journeying right now, 29 to 41. Notice how there's a little crack in that wall right there, and we see Void Ray is now once again trying to do some damage to the Zerg base, but 3 Queens on the way. We're going to see that get wrapped up pretty quickly, as those Void Rays cannot do any damage to that pool from way out here. Actually, most of these Zerg structures are fairly secure. Now that the Nexus is complete, we're going to see the Protoss player transfer those probes back down there. Notice how he does have several sentries. He was pretty high in the gas right now. Still is, actually. And that's why he's bringing those sentries in. Very, very cheap unit in terms of minerals. You know, very effective with force fields. And now we're going to see if those Zerglings are able to run in once again. But these sentries have a pretty good position right now, able to keep a wall in. And there we go. Nice force field, keeping a lot of those Zerglings out. But those sentries are not going to be able to do anything about all those probes, which are dying. Oh man, very smart play from the Zerg player. He noticed how he's also producing Hydralisks, and this is pretty much just a direct response to these Void Rays running around midfield. He's going to want to have those to bust up the Protoss. Also, those Hydras will lend themselves to an attack later on. You know, if the Zerg comes up here and just tries to finish it off, you know, those will be able to reach past some of these structures, but we're going to wait and see exactly what happens here. Maybe he's just going to sit back. Maybe he's not quite feeling confident. I mean, he just did a massive hit to somebody that so far has not lost a single game, and this could be his first, so we'll see what happens here as the Void Rays continue to do more damage to the mineral line. This is Inori's way of just trying to keep the Zerg delayed for as long as possible, but we have a very strong attack here, which could be coming in just a moment. Several Zerglings as well as Hydralisks parked outside. Now, obviously, they're going to be slow Elisks because they are just hanging out way outside of the creep, but nonetheless, they're going to be able to do that damage. You see, they do have the range upgrade as well as weapons 1. So, the Hydras are going to be coming in here, knocking out that pylon. 2 gateways shut off right off the bat, as well as the Forge. Fortunately for the Protoss player, he's able to drop down another pylon very quickly. Nice force fields, giving him a very sexy wall, but for how long? Only 3. Wow, there's the GG, folks. That's it. The first game right there went to the Protoss. The second one going to Inori. Tying it up 1-1. Let's go on to game number 3 and see who moves on to the grand finals.